coming up this week, an utter load of nonsense, but don't worry, I'll still briefly be talking about running. I mean, this is a running vlog. Don't go away. Now recently, in fact it might have even been last week, I can't remember, I lose track of time, but I put in my best ever 10k time. And just to kind of give you a bit of context there, usually my 10ks would be well over an hour, 106, maybe on a good day 103. But a few weeks ago I did an hour. I wasn't sure if it was exactly an hour, but it was an hour thereabouts. And I thought to myself that at some point I would try and do well under an hour so that I knew I had definitely achieved that goal. But then unexpectedly, when I went out for a 5k run recently, I felt so good on that run in the first kilometre. I just suddenly thought I'm gonna go further. I'm gonna go for it basically. And really unexpectedly, this what had set out to be a 5k run actually turned into my best ever 10k time, and I did 56.5 minutes. And in that video, I was afterwards, in fact, I didn't even really record like a before and during. It was so, it wasn't a vlogging video. I'd just gone out for a run. So I was just sort of all over the place in that video. I am now, sort of. And I just couldn't really put my finger on why I'd managed to do it. Was it the time of day? Because I'd gone out a bit earlier? I don't know. Now, that video hasn't actually gone out on the YouTubes now in real life, and I suspect some of you might have put in the comments something that I thought of after I'd finished recording, and that is that I've been doing a lot of slow and consistent running recently, and I suspect maybe that might have had something to do with it. And if you put that in the comments, yeah, you're right, I was a bit slow on the uptake. Yeah, maybe that's why it is. That's why you do that kind of slow, steady running, to build up and be better faster. If I did a bit more research, perhaps I'd be a bit clearer on that. But anyway, for whatever reason I didn't, and it only occurred to me later that actually this might be bearing fruit. I really should be taking more notice of this, because it was amazing. I've shaved like 6 or 7 minutes off my 10k time in just a few weeks. What's that all about? It's nuts. Anyway, I'm going to go and do a 10k today. It's quite a hot day today. Hot, you know, hot, well, warm. The sun is certainly quite strong. So yeah, I'm just going to do a leisurely 10k. I'm looking forward to it because I've had quite a busy few days, so I'm looking forward to getting out, having a bit of a run, and then afterwards, yeah, we're going to talk nonsense. There we are, 10k complete. Let's shove the times up on the screen. Just a slow, leisurely one today. I took just a random route, something I used to do a lot actually when I was running, probably up to about a year ago. And then I found some routes that I kind of stick to, but this was completely random, and the reason being that it was quite sunny. I just wanted to find a bit of shade really. So yeah, so I did. So that's why I'm in the woods. So looking out for bears and Goldilocks, but haven't seen them yet. Now, let's talk nonsense. That wasn't the nonsense, it is a bit nonsense, but let's talk some proper nonsense. Because it's been occurring to me of late that as you go through life, you do tend to make the odd mistake. You know, the odd thing that you'll do, that you want the ground to kind of open up and swallow you. We've all been there. And yet, it seems to me, the more I think about this, that the frequency of these kind of occurrences becomes more frequent as you go through life. So, and also, as you get older, I don't think they get just more frequent. I think actually the frequency goes up exponentially. So doing silly things isn't just the reserve of people who are ancient. We all do it, we just seem to do it more frequently. And also, we don't seem to learn from our mistakes as we get older. And I'm waffling now, I'm going to give you some examples. Now, when I was in my 20s, which is a while ago now, I remember, let's stop walking, walk and talk at the same time. It's multitasking, I can't do that. Now, when I was in my 20s, there was an incident, and this is one of the ones that I think probably made me think that I was a bit daft. I bet you haven't done something as daft as this. This happened when I was going to work one day. I was carrying a load of stuff to put in my car, and I was putting a load of stuff in the car, got in the car and then drove off to work. And I hadn't gone very far, perhaps a couple of miles, and I thought, I wonder where my mobile phone is. I was looking around, where's my mobile phone? I can't see it. Did I leave it in my flat? Or where is it? And then I remembered that I'd put it on the roof of my car. Now you can probably guess at this point what happened. And the phone was quite happily sitting on the top of my car until I did something with my right foot, which is to press the accelerator, at which point the mobile phone parted company with my roof and introduced itself to the tarmac, at which point it became several mobile phones. So I drove back a little way, and there it was, looking quite sorry for itself, lying in the road. Now, don't worry, kids, because mobile phones back in the day weren't like these slabs of expensive glass that cost hundreds of pounds. No, back then they were kind of just nondescript kind of grey bricks. And it wasn't like one of the really big, they weren't talking like Gordon Gekko kind of Wall Street type big phones that you're carrying around, nothing like that. They had sized down by this stage, I'm not that old. But there wasn't up to much. And back then, actually, you could just make a phone call and they'd send you another one. I mean, it was a bit like that. So I got away with it, but I still felt like a bit of an idiot. Now, the thing is, if I think about it, I think back to my 20s, I think, well, actually, I probably did make lots of mistakes in my 20s, I'm sure. But they were perhaps few and far between. And also, crucially, I learnt from that mistake, because I haven't subsequently put anything on the top of my car, driven away and found it go smashing on the road behind me. I learnt from that mistake, you see, it's quite good. Now, if I go perhaps more recent, so we fast forward to, in fact, last week, there are incidents where I think that have happened that are also stupid. Now, you may not think this is as stupid, but bear with me, because I think it probably is for a very good reason. So here we are then. Last week, I wanted to order some soap, some like cleaning stuff for my face. Now, ladies, this might come as a shock to you, but blokes, we do actually wash occasionally. I even had a bath once. But anyway, so I need to order. Now, normally I would get this stuff from the supermarket. Let's call it face cement, okay, to clean my craggy face with. And normally I would get that from the supermarket, but at the moment we're having the delivery from Mr. Sainsbury's. He's coming along and he's doing these deliveries, and we're having to get deliveries for my household and also for my mother-in-law's household. I think pretty soon they're going to have to start doing the delivery in an 18-wheeler, so there's a load of stuff coming. So I decided the best thing, what I'll do, cut down the delivery, I'll order it from Amazon. Now, I've got a bit of a love-hate relationship with Amazon, I have to be honest, because big tech, they're trying to steal all our data, let's be honest. And also on Amazon, all those resellers, there's all those reviews. You can't really trust them. There's loads of fake reviews on there. So, but I'm a hypocrite, so I still use them. So I said, I'm going to order it. So I looked on Amazon, there's the face cement. So I put my order. I'll order 2 because the price is the same as the supermarket, but that's okay because I'm doing it for convenience, not necessarily for price. So I'll just order it, press the button, great. So next day, package arrives, and I open the package, and I was expecting, a tube like that, and there was a tube like this. It looked like it was something for a doll's house, frankly. It looked exactly the same on the front. It had the same sort of packaging, but just all in miniature. But I went back on the website, and it turns out this was 50 grams, and the one that I normally buy, apparently, is 150. And I worked that out by looking down at the comments, and in amongst all the fake ones that were clearly there that had what were fake, there were some real ones, and the real ones were saying things like, this is very small, this isn't what I was expecting at all, this isn't the 150 gram, this is only the 50. So I wasn't alone, and perhaps what I should have done was to looked at the reviews before I actually put the order in. That would have been the sensible thing to do, really, if you think about it, but I didn't do that. So I did feel like somewhat of an idiot. Now, especially as I work in tech, I build websites and e-commerce websites sometimes, and apps and things. So, I shouldn't make mistakes like this. People often apologise to me, say, oh, I don't really understand technology. And I think, well, I should really. I'm in the industry. I should understand this stuff. Sorry, that sounds a bit bright, isn't it? Is that better? So, anyway, yeah, so I felt a bit silly. Now, you might think that this particular incident probably isn't as serious as the mobile phone one that I just told you about. I mean, I didn't smash stuff on the ground. Yeah, I ended up spending a bit more money on some face cement. But hang on, let's go up there. Is that better? So it probably isn't as serious, is it really? However, this is the crucial point, because within a couple of days of this happening, I made exactly the same mistake again. I didn't learn from the fact that I learned when I smashed my phone up. I learned not to be so stupid. But I literally, within a couple of days of ordering something the wrong size, I made the same mistake again. This time, it was with some dog food. So I ordered some food for one of my dogs. And my dogs have different dietary requirements. So I was ordering some food for one of my dogs, and I went onto the website. I thought, I know, I'll order it directly from the manufacturer instead of going to one of the big chains, because the manufacturer has recently started to sell on their own website. So I thought, that'd be good. I'll order it directly from them. So I went on there, had a look, and they had fish, and they had lamb, and they had turkey. And I thought, well, my dog has had fish at the moment, and she had lamb last time, so I know what I'll do. I'll get her some turkey. Now, this is actually a slightly ridiculous thing to do, because my dog, when you put the food down, she doesn't eat it so much as inhale it. She's like a little furry Dyson, and it's not a case of when you put the food down, she kind of eats it and then looks at you and goes, well, that was okay, but I'd prefer next time you could get it from somewhere that has 2 Michelin stars. She's not like that. You kind of put the food down and it's gone. It's not as if she's looking up at me and going, well, it tasted okay, but the presentation wasn't up to much, like some kind of canine version of Greg Wallace. She will eat it, and then if she's still hungry, she'll go outside and eat some dirt. So why am I even bothering to pick flavours for it? This is frankly a ridiculous thing to do. So anyway, next day I placed this order. I thought I'll place the order for the turkey, that would be great. So the next day, package arrived. Now I thought something was slightly odd here straight away, because I thought I'd ordered a 10 kilo bag of food, and the delivery driver was walking up carrying what looked like quite a small box. And I thought, this is not a good sign. This is not going to go well. So I opened the box, and inside were 3 1.5 kilo bags of dog food. Now, in my defence, if you look on the website for this particular stuff, all of the package shots look identical. They look exactly the same. 10 kilo fish, 10 kilo lamb, 4.5 kilo turkey, but it's in myopia point underneath, a bit like the face cement. The size there also was in myopia point. You have to sort of squint to see it. But the package shots look exactly the same, which is something I have to say I pointed out to the marketing department of this particular company on Twitter. So they did apologise, probably thinking under their breath, flaming idiot, because that's at the end of the day, it was my fault. It does say 4.5 kilos. But the point that I'm making here is not so much, it's not as bad perhaps as the mobile phone thing. However, I made the same mistake. But you would have thought after the face cement incident, I would have very carefully looked at the size of something I was buying literally 2 days later. I mean, how much of a fool am I? So, is there a lesson to be learned from this? No lesson to be learned at all. I just felt like sharing this with you. But I find now that as I am making more mistakes. I was putting up some sensors earlier today for the alarm I've got in my house, and there's a 50-50 chance of putting them up the right way round. And one of the sensors I put on one of the windows, I put it upside down. I mean, I wouldn't have done that even 5 years ago. So, I'm supposed to be a techie. What's going on? Hope none of my customers are watching this. Anyway, what's the stupidest thing you've ever done? Just don't tell me. I don't want to know. Really? Oh, dear. Still, I enjoyed my run, so that's good. Got out of the house. I hope you've been able to see it. The problem walking this way, the sun has been behind me, and probably you can just hear this kind of disembodied voice. Look at that, how bright it is. Well, so that's a good thing, the sun's shining. Oh dear. Anyway, that'll do. This video has been quite long enough. I have been waffling, so I'm going to go away now. Thank you very much for watching. If you're new here, you will, yeah, I do sometimes waffle incoherently about just general fluff, but I do talk about running as well, and I will return to my kind of faster running in future videos, so don't worry, that is all coming. I've got ideas of things that I would like to do as we head more into a kind of a lockdown-free world, but I'm kind of playing it a little bit by ear at the moment. But anyway, that's all in future videos. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Leave your comments, and I'll catch up with you next week.